Hey y'all, Jason Meeks here. Normally I share videos with you all with just different prophetic words or um, prophetic revelations that the Lord gives me, and I share it with you all. But not too often do I actually share the fulfillment of these words. So I just really wanted to start doing that as of this video, to start sharing with you all when these things actually do come to pass. That way you all would see that, you know, this isn't just fantasy talk or conspiracy theories or things like this. This is actually inspired information from the Lord that I share with you all. And that's how the prophetic work. Men and women of God speak as we are inspired by the Holy Spirit of God. Okay, and so I want to start showing the fulfillment of these words with you all through video, because I post on Instagram or I make some videos on YouTube stating what the Lord has shown me, either through a prophetic dream, a vision, or some sort of revelatory knowledge. But I usually just kind of leave it at that. So unless you actually just kind of scrolling through my pages and actually fact checking with news headlines and things like that, you may not be aware that these things are actually being fulfilled and actually happening. So the first one I want to start with is Instagram post that I made in February of 2021, and this is about the third theory for the existence. There's basically, since the beginning of time, there's been only two theories. There's been, of course, creation and then evolution. It's always one of those two things. You either sided with creation, that everything that exists was made by supreme creator God, or that everything evolved after the Big Bang theory and things like that. But so when I shared this on Instagram about a third theory coming out, that will come out, about how everything was came into being, a lot of people probably wonder, like, what third theory could be. But this was, like I said, this was February in 2021. But guess what's all the chatter been about really since the end of 2021, but really big time now, and started really hearing it last year, but really hearing a lot more this year, and that's about aliens. So now it's this big talk about aliens, and how they may have had part in the creation process, how everything was maybe made by aliens. And this is not just conspiracy theorists saying these things. There's a Harvard scientist by the name of A.V. Loeb, A-V-I, last name spelled L-O-E-B. Back in October of 2021, so that would have been 8 months after I shared a prophetic utterance on Instagram about a coming third explanation for all of existence. So 8 months later, this Harvard scientist came out and said, you know what? Maybe aliens created everything. And this guy was probably laughed at too, but now we're hearing a lot about aliens. We're hearing a lot more about aliens. They're finding alien bodies and things like that. And the fact that this is a Harvard scientist. So this is not just, this is a well-educated scientists. So as the Lord does, when he gives us words to share in Revelation, it's to prepare us for things that's going to take place. So the Lord knew that all this talk and chatter about aliens was going to come forth. So he shared with me, he chose to share with me that this was going to happen. That it was going to be a third theory now about existence. But we know, that is one truth. Everybody can have an opinion, but there's one truth. And that truth is found in the scriptures, that God is the supreme being. He is the one who created everything. The earth is the Lord, and the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell therein. Okay, so God created everything. And he shared with me a prophetic insight back in February 2021 that there will be coming, this. And the thing is with evolution is making less and less sense to people. So it's like the devil had to come out with something else. Like, okay, evolution is not making sense anymore. Apes are still being apes after all these years. They're not changing to humans and all this stuff. And we know that you can't have a bomb go off and it creates something as marvelous as the world we live in. Okay, so the devil had to come out with something else. So now let's just talk about aliens, and so the Lord gave me that he inspired me with that knowledge that something else that the devil was going to be coming out with something else to try to turn people away from belief and faith in God as the supreme being and the only creator of all things. So like I said, back in February 2021, when I posted that, a lot of people probably like, okay, what's wrong with this guy? I mean, it's creation or evolution, one of the others. But now we see, now there's talk about all this aliens, and highly credited scientist from Harvard even puts that theory out about aliens creating everything. Okay, and then like I said, this is catching more and more steam as the days go on, as we are deep into 2023. Okay, so that's all I'm going to share about that particular prophetic word that I gave about that. But as I stated, as the Lord wills, I'm going to continue to share just so you all can see that prophecy is real. The prophetic is real. God is real, and he still works in his people. He still speaks through his people. He still speaks his mind and his will and his purpose through his people. Okay, he still is giving revelation to his people. This didn't just stop 2,000 years ago. He's still the same God yesterday, today, and forever. What he did then, he's gonna do now. So I'm going to continue to share these videos so you can see that prophecies are real. I'm not a fraud. I'm not getting paid for this. Nobody's paying me to do this. My channel's not even getting enough audience to even be monetized. So there's no monetary gain I'm getting from this. I'm just sharing to show you all, that prophecy is real and God is real. Most importantly, to the believers who don't believe in prophecy, I'm going to continue to show these videos so you can refute all you want, but, you can't refute when something happens, when something was pre-told to come to pass and comes to pass. You can say maybe one time, oh, lucky guess. But when you're constantly seeing these things, you have to, kind of let go of that ego and realize that, hey, something is actually happening here. And to the non-believer, those who don't believe in God, you're going to see as I continue to share these videos, Lord willing, that you know, there's no way I can have this knowledge or foreknowledge of these things to come and these things happening without a supreme God giving me this knowledge of things to happen. You know, so you all continue to watch these videos. I'll continue to share the fulfillment of these words that I've previously shared on different social medias. Y'all be blessed.